Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of
The Bold Way,
the show where confidence grows and resilience finds its voice. My name is Precious Mosley.
And I'm Lilia Jones. Here we honor the stories of Black students, their victories, their courage, and their challenges, and the powerful journeys in between. We talk about In It. Every episode, we're getting into the nitty-gritty of each story we hear. We don't want just results. We want the steps to success. And this is the show where that pulls through. As Season 2 host of The Bold Way, we want to add some more bold ways to live our lives.
Exactly. We are so excited to get this season started, but before we dive in, we felt it very important for you to know a little bit about us. Again, my name is Precious. I'm a journalism student here at ACC. I'm a leasing agent in the West Campus area. I grew up in Miami, Florida, moved here when I was only 12, and I've always had the passion for dance, writing, and arts and crafts since young. So my goal is actually to work in war-related news. I think being able to bridge the gap of communication from America to the outside world is a very important responsibility in journalism, and very, very near and dear to my heart, as many people suffer across the world and we hear very little of it. Next year, I'd like to take this dream to New York and maybe even expand into sports or even fashion media, live out my Deborah Wears Prada dream.
Okay, Slay Queen, New York. And I'm originally from Panama City, Florida. And then I moved to Texas. One thing about me is I love Spider-Man so much. I have an amazing Spider-Man emblem on my forearm.
Can we see?
Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. And I also like making music all for funsies. I sew. I even made my prom dress in high school. It was Spider-Man, of course. And most importantly, I love food. I plan on moving next year to Fort Worth, Texas to intern at a church called Movement City, and I can't wait. If I could be completely transparent, I did want to go do acting. I wanted to move to the Big Apple, start at Ellen's Stardust Cafe, hopefully get on Broadway. However, I followed the direction of my parents and went to school instead to study musical theater, which I am doing now. As this is my third semester at ACC, I was in ACC's drama cast of The Importance of Being Earnest, and that really helped shape my views of how I love acting so much. And yeah, I'm so excited to spend this season with you all, and I hope you are ready to dig down deeper. So that's enough about my crazy semester. Yeah. How's your semester going?
Okay, so my semester is pretty chill for the most part. I have one class, which is my dance appreciation class.
Okay, come on, dance appreciation.
I've danced for 10 years of my life anyways, so just being able to learn about the history of dance and all of the ballets and how ballet got to start in its first place has been really amazing. So yeah, semester's been pretty chill.
That's exciting.
Today, we're focusing on how innovation can meet our community's most urgent needs, and we're honored to be joined by a remarkable ACC alum whose work is making a real difference in the lives of people experiencing homelessness here in Austin.
You know, housing insecurity is something I never really thought about on a deeper level. I mean, I've always felt for the homeless community, and I would spend my birthdays to go out and feed them and pray over them to one day that they would find shelter. And I would always stop my car and just get them essentials on what they needed, like daily essentials, like clothes, water, food, a toothbrush and toothpaste, and body soap and hand sanitizer. And it just never occurred to me, like, how they got there.
Yeah, and, that's all crazy because everything you named were necessities we all need. Yeah. Something that ACC takes very seriously. So seriously that ACC offers River Bat Bites, a free food pantry for students and faculty members on all ACC campuses.
Yeah, and I've actually been to one of them. They really come in clutch whenever you forgot a snack. So yeah, y'all should go stop by at your local ACC. And, I never thought about how much of a privilege we have here in America. And it wasn't until I went to Arusha, Tanzania last year that even though that they might live in a third world country, that there are still people who are going through literally have nothing. They have no families, no money, and no one to care for them. And when I went to go do missions work in the schools, the kids were so excited to receive pencils, and that really got me thinking about the people here in America.
Yeah.
We might live in a first world country, but there are still people who are struggling with their heads drowning in financial debt, and they can't get afloat of. And knowing that there are lots of people who are born into this world and thinking that's how the world is supposed to work, and now finding a new understanding of how we can make the world a better place that really takes steps and actions that we genuinely have to commit to taking.
Yes, I totally agree. I mean, that's such a powerful reflection, Lilia. And I love that you pointed out privilege, because it's so easy to forget how close any of us could be to that line between stability and struggle.
Yeah, it really is so easy to lose that line.
Yeah, hearing your story makes me think about how close to home this issue really is. So many people around the world go without something most of us take for granted. And here in Austin, that reality is right in our backyard. As of 2025, ECHO, or Ending Community Homelessness Coalition, reported 3,238 people were documented as experiencing homelessness in the Austin-Travis area, in abandoned buildings, tents, and vehicles. 1,661 were sheltered in emergency or transitional housing. Among the individuals, 13% were veterans, 44% homeless for the first time, and 68% became homeless within the Austin-Travis area.
Dang.
About 31% were Black African Americans, 26% were Hispanic, and about 19.5% were Asian.
Wow.
And I think it's very important to add the common stereotype of homelessness is often deeply misleading.
Yeah.
Many people are taught to assume that everyone without stable housing is struggling with addiction, mental illness, or unwilling to work. But the reality is much more complex. A large portion of people experiencing homelessness in Austin actually have jobs, attend schools, and are actively seeking work. They simply cannot afford rising rent or access to stable support systems. For many, homelessness is not the result of personal failure, but of economic pressure, sudden crisis, and lack of affordable housing options. When we view homelessness through judgment, we ignore the humanity of the individuals experiencing it and overlook the systematic issues that create the conditions in the first place.
Wow. That is a lot of people struggling in our own backyard to think.
Yeah, it really is. And I know what that feels like firsthand, because in 2023, I found myself in that same place.
Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was left to fend for myself on the east side of Austin, and everything that I had with me was stolen.
Wow.
I had nothing but an ID to my name. And I mean, I was in constant survival mode, moving from place to place, unsure where I'd end up next.
Yeah.
During that time, I reached out to many places for resources, and I'm grateful to have made it out, but the impact of that experience doesn't disappear.
Yeah.
The fear and the instability will always linger, and I notice it in many aspects of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you sharing that. If I can ask, what were some things going on through your head during this time?
Oh, man. I mean, it was all about mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did not have the luxury of breaking down in the moment. I had to keep going. Therapy helped me process what happened later, but in the moment, it was all about survival and lots of faith, for sure.
That is so real. And during your hard time, what were some things that you kept telling yourself so you can keep going?
The phrase that kept me going and kept me grounded was simple, but real. Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that became my mantra, and it reminded me that no matter what, the season wouldn't last forever. Better days were coming, and they indeed come. Yeah.
Sometimes simple is the only reality that we need and get to learn from.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I still carry with me every day.
Yeah. You're such a testament to a powerful woman, Precious. And I think what you went through really connects to what ACC is doing right now.
Yes, definitely, for sure.
ACC has just announced a new partnership with the Housing Connector, a nonprofit organization dedicated to removing barriers to housing.
I love that. Yeah.
It truly is inspiring to see our school take a stand on this issue. You know, my dad and I actually talk all the time about starting our own nonprofit organization to help get people off the streets and into jobs and homes. So hearing this really helps us put our next steps into that.
I completely agree, because when we talk about innovation, this is exactly what we mean. Innovation isn't always about technology. Sometimes it's about compassion and creating systems that uplift people and open doors that were once closed.
Yeah, come on, compassion.
Through this collaboration, ACC is connecting students directly with local property owners who are willing to offer accessible and affordable housing options. This partnership streamlines the search process for students who may be facing housing insecurity.
Yeah, and it's not just a one-time thing. Housing Connector is a part of a much bigger commitment ACC has made to expand partnerships that meet basic students' needs, whether it's food, mental health support, or now stable housing.
Exactly. And as we know, a stable home can make all the difference. It's one of the strongest foundations for student success in the classroom.
Facts.
Partnerships like this are built to remove real-world barriers so students don't have to worry about where they sleep and can focus on what truly matters, their education, their growth, and their future.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's so much more deeper than just a roof over your head. It's a foundation for everything else. And I love that ACC is recognizing that. Oh, also, did you know that ACC has a student emergency fund? So if you have an unexpected financial emergency that affects your classroom responsibilities and impacts your basic needs, you can go to austincc.edu/SEF for more information on how you can get help.
Oh, wow, that's really cool that ACC is offering that.
Yeah, I know, right? It helps ease minds, especially when you are going through hardships and difficult times. Sometimes it can really make or break a student's college experience.
It's so crazy because I know about this firsthand.
Yeah.
I mean, being a leasing agent in the student housing industry, I've seen how having stable, affordable housing can completely shape a student's college experience.
Right.
I mean, it's more than just having a place to sleep, but more about having a place to study and to rest and to feel safe and supported.
Right.
When students know that their basic needs are being met, they're able to focus on their classes, build community, and truly thrive both academically and personally.
Right.
Seeing that connection between housing stability and student success has really opened my eyes on how vital access and equity are in, higher education.
Yeah, that really opened my eyes, and I hope it opened the rest of our viewers' eyes as well. Coming up after the break, we will meet someone who embodies that same bold spirit of service. She saw a gap in her community and decided to go stand in between when no one else felt the pull. You don't want to miss her story.
No matter what your life circumstances is, ACC is an amazing place to start at because it allows you the flexibility of just simply not knowing and figuring it out along the way. And you have the guidance, the resources, and the tools that ACC provides to be able to figure it out. As a Bobcat, my experience has been incredible. Being able to have those friendships, to be able to explore the campus, to pursue an education, to be able to be in a school that is constantly growing, that has constant movement, that is so involved with itself, is an experience that I don't think you can get anywhere else. In my eyes, college is worth it because you're able to get a sense of community, connection, and experience that you aren't able to obtain anywhere else. You're able to get something that nobody can take away from you. No one can take away your degree, no one can take away your experience, and no one can take away your education.
Hello, ACC. My name is Zach, and I'm your new Student Beat host. This season, we'll be covering news, tips, and info you need to know for ultimate success this semester. And we'll be going out into the district to explore our community resources and events, meet some of you, and much more. So, get ready. Tune in to Student Beat, only on ACC TV.
We are so excited to have Ebonie Oliver in Studio B today. She is an ACC alum who graduated with a degree in General Studies and Liberal Arts in 2023. Ebonie is currently continuing her studies at Texas State University with a focus in applied arts and science.
Almost immediately after moving to Austin, Ebonie knew she needed to do more to make a difference. She began volunteering at events and activities across the city, which inspired her to take her passion a step further. In July of 2014, Ebonie founded Mission Accomplished, a nonprofit organization serving the greater Austin area that is dedicated to helping those in need.
The organization's primary goal is to provide individuals and families with the resources and support they need to build stable, sustainable, and healthy lives. Specifically, this organization provides a mobile laundry service to businesses and agencies that assist those in need. When people are concerned about food insecurity and employment instability, laundry soap and funds for washing clothes are usually at the bottom of the priority list.
In 2024, she was recognized by ACC as a Gold Star Award recipient at the annual Alumni Awards. Ebonie, thank you so much for joining us today on The Bold Way. We are so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
I hear that you are a alum of ACC. What was your educational journey like leading up to ACC, and what did you major in?
So I came to ACC during COVID. So prior to coming to ACC, I did a program that prepares you to get back into the trenches of being in school. So I graduated from high school in 1997, and so I took a huge time to kind of get things going. And so when I moved to Austin, I reignited basically my education to further my education. So I started during COVID, so everything was online. And so I was just like, oh my gosh. But I ended up taking one class, and then I wanted to challenge myself. So the further I got acclimated with all of the systems and things in place and doing online and switching to in person. And then in 2023, I started, prior to 2023 graduating, I started adding more classes to my schedule. And so I did apply arts and science, but my focus was more on social services. So.
That's cool.
All right, that is pretty cool. So why is getting your bachelor's from Texas State important, and when are you graduating?
So that's just one degree. So like the goal is to get my PhD. So I'm taking the steps further. So the goal is to help those behind the scenes when it comes to policies, because social services are always being done in the city. However, they are not set up for those that look like me. And so I want to be in a position where I can go to DC and fight for different things, especially, and even in Texas, as far as, but it's a whole. So graduating would just be with having my social work degree, but then I'll go back for my master's and then for my PhD.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah, and you graduated from ACC in 2023. What inspired you to create this nonprofit, as well as to come to community college to work towards your degree?
So I'm born and raised from Gary, Indiana, and I was a part of a church who did everything in the community. So we had a shelter, a clothing closet, a food pantry. Everything was built on what the church did. And so it supported it supported the neighborhood. And so I basically tell people I took the church on the road. And so that is exactly what Mission Accomplished does. Now, yes, we gear toward laundry, but we started the laundry by just talking to people. And they let us know, like, there's always places to get food and showers and things like that. But when it comes to laundry, something that's so simple, they weren't having access to it.
Right.
And so that's how we started. So we take the load literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
I love it. That's good.
That's so smart.
And also, your organization is so unique because you focus on something most people don't think about. So can you talk about why that matters so much?
Well, the reason is that we're doing preventative measures. So if a person doesn't have their clothes washed, they're washing them in the creeks. The creeks have all types of things, such as foot fungus, vaginal infections, and things of that nature. So if a person does contract any of those things, they will have to go to a medical facility. Well, if you're experiencing homelessness or have economic hardships, you can't pay for those fees. So then the facilities incur that cost, which means taxpayers incur that cost. So it's a domino effect that it creates. And so we have preventative measures. Those are preventative measures because I don't know, people don't think about like, oh, what if I don't have access to a washer and dryer? But there are people who actually don't have access to this. And we not only help those experiencing homelessness, we help people who are having economic hardships. What that looks like is people fleeing domestic violence. And so, for instance, a person who is fleeing domestic violence tends to go back to their abuser because of different needs aren't being met, whether it's financially or just needing that person to babysit. And so those barriers, just to get to the laundromat, it would be easier to have someone come over, watch your kids for you while you go to the laundromat. But what we do is we pick up the loads from individuals. So if they're staying in a transitional center, living with family and they're couch surfing because they're fleeing domestic violence, or for those who are dealing with postpartum. So that's an overwhelming situation because those are mental health issues as well. And then in Austin, schools are closing. So what's happening is that they're closing because of low attendance. Well, if a mom has to choose between taking care of their family with putting a meal on the table or choosing laundry, which will they choose? And so those are the things. So we're doing preventative measures so that people are seeing the importance of hygiene.
Right, yeah. I love that you're filling in those gaps where no one really thinks about. That's really amazing. And I'm really inspired by it, honestly. Yeah. And I also know that Mission Accomplished doesn't stop there. You're also tackling broader issues like stability, resources, and access. Can you share some of the ways your organization supports families beyond laundry service?
So what we do is we have, we find people that are impacted by the criminal justice system. And so even though those individuals we help as well. So if a family, once they let us know that they have laundry issues, then that's a barrier for them. We also ask them what other things that they need. So we have partnerships with food pantries. We have partnerships with the workforce partners. So what that looks like is that we may physically fill in that need with laundry, but we help you get connected with other resources as well. So whether it's to see a therapist or see a psychiatrist, all of those basic human needs, we still help you get connected to those things. So we don't just drop off, we don't just take the load, drop off the load, we help you carry the load.
Right.
I love that.
Good.
Yeah.
There's a question that we always ask our guests here on The Bold Way. Can you share a bold moment, a story, or a decision that has impacted you and how it's currently continuing to impact your life?
So my bold moment was moving to Texas. So when I moved to Texas, it actually was a joke. So my brother and his wife, they moved to Texas after their wedding. And I was like, I'm coming. And so it was really a joke. And so my sister-in-law booked me a ticket. I came down here for a week and I found me an apartment and a job. And then I moved here in February of 2011. And in, July of 2014, I started Mission Accomplished. But one of the things is that when I moved here, people from my hometown would say, oh, well, you'll be back, because that was their story. Well, my story didn't end that way. And so we all have our own stories. And so here I am we started off with not even having trailers. So now we have two laundry trailers. We just recently got a shower trailer. And so we are out here helping the community, and it continues to go on and on and on.
Wow. That's exciting.
That's amazing. I can't believe you did that in 3 years. That's actually crazy.
No,
wow. Amazing.
Actually. You're like, oh, I'm staying for a week. Actually, psych. I got a job, have an apartment.
Start my whole life here, actually. So in looking ahead, what's next for Mission Accomplished? Do you have any new projects or partnerships on the horizon that you're excited about? And how can we get involved?
So I believe in having a vision wall. And so our next vision for the organization is a laundromat. Because yes, the trailers, they help, but there's so many people who laundry is a barrier for them. And so our goal is to help people. And so we want to take the load. People may even have access to a washer and dryer, but don't have time to wash because of we live in a city or in a state, in a country that's very high when it comes to housing. And so the cost of living is very expensive. The employment rates don't match the housing costs. And so we want to help individuals by taking that load for them. And so that's our next step, is a laundry facility.
Hey, I love it.
Okay. Ebonie, your boldness and vision are such an inspiration. And I thank you so much for all of the work that you're doing in Austin. That's amazing work. And sharing your story here with us today. And so how can our viewers help you in the future or stay in touch with your business?
Okay, so we have a website. Our website is www.mission-accomplished.org. And that's a way for you to check out what we're doing. You can donate and you can volunteer with us. There's always opportunities to volunteer with us. A great way to donate is not always only the monetary, but we are always looking for laundry detergent, laundry pods, and fabric sheets. So we have things that happen all year long. So we're always in need of donations and volunteers. And you can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
All right, amazing. I love it. Well, thank you again, Ebonie, for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
What an incredible conversation. Hearing Ebonie's story reminds us that being bold isn't just about big moments.
Right.
Sometimes it's about the quiet, consistent work that changes lives one small act at a time.
Exactly. Mission Accomplished shows that creativity and compassion can meet people right where they are. Something as simple as clean clothes can restore confidence and open up new doors to new opportunities.
Right, and that's exactly what the Bold Way is all about.
Yeah.
Using courage and innovation to uplift our communities and push past barriers.
Right.
Ebonie's work reminds us that no small act of service is too small when it comes from the heart.
Yeah. And today's episode shows how powerful it is when people turn their challenges into purpose. Whether it's rebuilding after hardship or starting something new for others, your story matters and it can spark a change. It is always important to live loud and boldly. Like Michael Jackson said, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. We all need to start with the change within in order to change the outside. And I would love to say some bold takeaways that really highlighted to me. Number 1, turn your challenges into purpose. Number 2, if you feel a passion for something, go and do it. And number 3, your story matters and it can bring hope to others.
I've also taken a lot away from this episode, and one of the biggest things is that homelessness is not a personal flaw,
Right.
but often the result of systems and circumstances that fail people.
Yeah.
When we shift from judgment to understanding, we open the door to compassionate solutions and community care. So as you head into your week, remember this. Boldness isn't the absence of fear. It's
Right.
choosing to move forward anyway with purpose, with passion, and with hope.
Yeah, and thank you so much for tuning in today. And we will see you soon on another episode of The Bold Way. We'll see you next time.